Alright, welcome to my stream, and to those of you who are joining us later on YouTube to Battlezone Combat Commander, specifically the Total Command mod. This is a complete overhaul of the original Battlezone 2, sold on Steam, and then overhauled again by the mod team that did Total Command in order to bring the Battlezone 1 experience, including its expansions, to the modern day with all of the accoutrements and updated UI that came with Battlezone 2. And compiled not just in terms of the separate stories that it had in the original Battlezone, but in a chronological order from start to finish, taking us through the entirety of the Battlezone 1 story. Battlezone is just one of those games that has a special place in my heart. It's one of my very first video games. I love what the remaster did. If you don't have that on Steam, I 100% recommend you go find it. The Total Command team took it a step further when the Battlezone 2 remaster came out, which again, Battlezone 2 remaster is awesome. But they took it a step further and made it even better somehow. And I absolutely adore it. It is set in the Cold War, and you have, on the one hand, you have the NSDF representing the US, and the CCA representing Soviet Russia. But I'm not going to get too much into all that because the story itself is going to tell you what we're getting into when we get started. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this biometal war. Alright, Stars and Stripes Mission 1, Red Arrival. As you can see, we have 5 different stories up here. These were all individual campaigns when the original thing came out. The exception being either Dogs of War or Rise of the Black Dogs. I think it's Dogs of War. Was originally a console exclusive. But let's go ahead. Alright. Battlezone update. In 1952, debris from a meteor shower in the Bering Strait were found to be made of a miraculous substance of alien origin. Because the debris contained both biological and mineral properties, this material was named biometal. Research efforts soon discovered that biometal could be formed into advanced technology that virtually designed itself. Recognizing its importance to the United States, in 1958, President Eisenhower, along with Army General Collins and industrialist Dr. Wilhelm Arkin, created a new military organization so secret that not even future presidents would know of its existence, named the National Space Defense Force, NSDF. Their mission is to secure, study, and utilize biometal. It is now in the 1960s, and as the United States undergoes cultural change and fights the Cold War with the Soviet Union, the NSDF expanded its mission beyond the confines of Earth, and they are not alone. NSDF update. Command is concerned about heavy rocket activity of unconfirmed origin at several locations around the moon. As of yet, there are no reports of direct contact with hostile forces. All personnel are on alert, with orders to increase biometal recovery efforts. We've been provided with a variety of different vehicles. Our objective is to get into a vehicle, build a scavenger, escort the scavenger as it gathers biometal. Alright, and then of course you have the credits for the original. Released in 98. Just gonna scroll through. If you guys want to pause it, of course you can see it yourself. Red Odyssey came out in 99. And Rise of the Black Dogs in 2000. Alright. Tech data. The NSDF. The Eagle Lander. Grizzly main battle tank. You can see it's got all sorts of cool detail going on there. And the recycler. Let's get to it. I received the visit today. No, I'm not going to try to read the whole thing. If you guys want to go and read it, then you may go right ahead. I do not think I'll be able to finish reading it by the time we're done loading. But that is the main character of the NSDF. I believe. Yes. First Astro Cavalry.
Sometimes it bugs me that Armstrong and Shepard get all the credit. But we all wanted to win the Cold War. And we were ready to commit our lives to getting the biomedal. The military boys used all the material that had fallen to Earth. And they still needed more. They went looking for a few cowboys to do the job. And in the end, they orchestrated the world's biggest cover-up. They snuck a whole army into space and not a soul knew a thing. But now it's time. People should know why it was so important that we won the space race. People should know what happened to all those who went missing. The dead should get their honors, and they should have their place in history. Because history has a way of repeating itself.
Commander, we've discovered a deposit of biometal along with some strange radar signatures. Build a scavenger and escort it to the biometal deposit.
Isn't this beautiful? Alright, we got a lineup of various NSDF vehicles here. Razor Scout, Bobcat Light Tank, Wolverine Missile Tank, Grizzly Main Battle Tank, and the Thunderbolt Rocket Bomber. But I'm gonna go with the good old Grizzly. So the cool thing about this game is it's one part first-person shooter and one part real-time strategy. And because we have that satellite rig up there that's built, I can even hit the 4 key and go into real-time strategy mode and actually see everything, give orders. It's a really, really solid game, honestly. And mind you, a lot of this was already in the game back in '98.
Grizzly 1, we've got a situation. Unidentified vehicles are approaching your position from the southwest. Getting scrap.
AI in this is absolutely merciless. Ah, crap. Like I said, merciless.
Commander, our instruments show that you are heavily outnumbered. Protect the scavenger and retreat to Outpost 3. Yes, sir.
Alright, Scavenger's making a break for it, and we are getting out of here. As you can see, I've got my main gun and my minigun linked, which is why they're both firing at the same time. Just a neat little detail. Touched up. So we got banged up pretty decent by that assassin.
Good work. Unfortunately, we've got another scavenger out there that's being threatened by Soviet wingmen.
And now we've got our confirmation that they are indeed Soviet. That's an assassin coming after us. Pick him off real fast. So they have the same amount of lead that we get, so evasive is actually really useful. Okay, you know what? Thumper.
Good work, Grizzly One. We've confirmed that the hostile vehicles are of Soviet origin. They've maneuvered around Outpost 3 and are headed towards Eagle's Nest 1. Await further orders from NSDF Command.
We have confirmed that the invading forces are of Soviet origin, as the NSA believe the Soviets have a counterpart to the NSDF, the Cosmo Colonist Army, or Cosmo Communist Army, the CCA. With the ability to draw personnel from fellow Warsaw Pact countries, the Russians have a force that rivals ours. Using biometal-based technology, there is no doubt they are trying to acquire more biometal and establish a permanent presence beyond Earth, placing NSDF and CCA goals into conflict. CCA forces have launched coordinated strikes around the moon, destroying several NSDF bases. They appear to be converging on our main headquarters at Eagle's Nest 1. Alright. CCA forces... SS2, Eagle's Nest 1. CCA forces skirted Outpost 3 and moved on to the NSDF's main base at Eagle's Nest 1. Their attack caught the base off guard, resulting in high NSDF casualties, including the local BCC, or Battlezone Combat Commander. See what they did there. Though they have pulled back, the CCA succeeded destroying the base's recycler, and another attack is imminent. At present, the headquarters tower is unguarded, leaving high-level command personnel vulnerable inside. Grizzly 1, us, the brass has assigned you as the replacement BCC for Eagle's Nest 1. Report to your new posting and direct the establishment of defenses. Engineering report. The training recycler in Montana is en route and will be at our disposal. It is capable of gathering and maintaining resources and is equipped to build M173 Badger turrets. 150-meter fire radius. Yes, that's a hard 150 meters. And is best suited for perimeter defense. When in position, it deploys its stab hooks, stabilized terrain adapting base, The stab secures the the stab secures the low-weighted turret into the terrain and allows it to fire accurately, unaffected by weapon kickback. The Badger can be repositioned when needed, but it's unable to fire when the stab is not deployed. Our objective: hold off the CCA, use the recycler to build Badgers, and don't allow base buildings to be destroyed. That's the icon for the CCA. Formed under Premier Nikita Khrushchev, this secret organization draws personnel from Russia and other Warsaw Pact nations to form a large force tasked with acquiring, setting, and using biometal to further the goals of the Soviet Union. And of course, that's our pilot. Recruited from all branches of the military by MIB, these brave men operate in secret to defend the United States against its enemies in space, and work to find, recover, and guard biometal for American use. They've received special training in the piloting of biometal vehicles. And of course, that's the factory that deploys into, well, the mobile version of the recycler, I should say. And the scavenger.
The action on the moon got intense, but it was only the beginning of what was to come. The Soviet surprise attack caught us all with our pants down. We never even had time to bury our dead.
This is General Collins, Commander. You're just in time. The first Soviet attack has destroyed all of Eagle's Nest 1's defenses. Check your radar. We've got additional Soviet forces coming in from the southeast. They're targeting the command tower and our solar arrays. Protect these structures at all costs. If we lose them, we're finished.
And as you can see, when they say that hostiles are coming in imminently, they mean imminently.
The Soviet forces are withdrawing, Commander. It won't be long before they regroup for another attack. The NSDF recycler Montana has been called back to the base. She's a training vehicle, but she does have turret building capabilities. Use her to build some turrets and set up a defensive perimeter around the base. Moving out. Ready to roll. Deploying. Moving out. Deploying. Deploying. Construction started.
All the little attention to detail things that happen in a game like this is just
Getting scrap. Building complete. Yes, sir. Getting scrap.
amazing. Alright, I'm going to indulge myself in a little bit of foreknowledge because I've played this game since I was a very young Galar.
Base under attack.
Apologize in advance if you think that I think the term safe scumming, but saving frequently is recommended in a game like this.
Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit.
Base under
Turret deployed.
attack.
Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit.
Get ourselves patched up and then go fire mortars at another turret.
Construction started. Turret deployed. Building complete. In transit. Turret deployed.
Worry about that later.
Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit. In transit. Turret deployed. Construction started. Turret deployed. Building complete. In transit.
Base under
Turret
attack.
deployed. Construction started. Building complete. In transit. In transit. Construction started. Turret deployed. Got your six. In transit. Building complete. In transit. Got your six. In transit. Construction started. Turret deployed. Turret deployed. Turret deployed. In transit. In transit.
Commander, reinforcements are returning from Outpost 2. Rendezvous at the Northern Solar Array.
Building complete. In transit. Turret deployed. Turret deployed. In transit. In transit. Oh, follow the leader. Turret deployed. Right behind you.
behind you.
That was tense.
Under attack.
Satellite recon indicates that an overwhelming Soviet strike force has just landed to the north and to the west. I'm ordering a full evacuation of Eagle's Nest 1. Repeat, we are pulling out of Eagle's Nest 1.
Yeah, that's not something we can fight in our current situation.
Protecting the block. Guarding. Protecting unit.
A barely functioning recycler and a couple of turrets. Mm-mm.
Following. Commander, all of our key personnel have reached transports 1 and 2. Disregard all previous orders and escort these two transports to the north launch pad. Commander, take up a position in front of the transports and look out for Soviet blockades.
Yeah, the tank's not doing too hot. Which, funny enough, his wire handling is down.
Nice job, Grizzly 1. Now, get to the launch pad. I'm going. Rolling. Well done, Commander. Well done. Attention all NSDF forces. We have successfully evacuated all ground personnel. However, we have lost Eagle's Nest 1 to the Soviets. We underestimated the Soviet strength, and we underestimated their commitment to controlling the biometal. Now their intentions are clear. If it's a war they want, then it's a war they shall get. We're relocating to Mars, where we will reassert our standing as the world's greatest superpower.
Your bravery and skill allowed the NSS Liberty, Justice, and Freedom to evacuate our surviving lunar forces. General Collins is impressed with your command abilities and will be expanding your responsibilities when we establish a new base on Mars. Based on our astronomical research reports, which modeled the likely path of the 1952 meteor shower that brought biometal to Earth, our scientists believe that we might find additional deposits on the Red Planet. NSDF Command wants to control Mars and reassert our standing in this new arms race. The situation is dire. The Soviets now control significant biometal deposits on the moon, and intelligence believes that they may already be on Venus, Mars, and moving outward in the solar system. We must not allow the CCA to control the Red Planet or take over the solar system. Alright. Next time, we will be jumping into the Rise of the Black Dogs campaign with Black Dog 01, Grab the Scientists. But for now, I will call that a day. So I will see you on the next episode. Hope you join me on the YouTube, and thank you for joining me on Twitch, those of you who are here, and take care.